Hey everybody, Peek out here in Singapore, and I have another fabulous businesswoman who is agreed to join me here live on Instagram, and she's very special because she and I have known each other for about a year now, and she's also on the spiritual journey with a couple of the other guests that I've had before. So like Nailea, like Tomasa, she actually deals with spirit energy, a lot of tarot, oracle cards, and she also does a lot with the Akashic records. So I'm really excited to present the Akashic Queen. Her name is Holly, and you can find out more about her in just a second. I'm just waiting for her to pop on. Hey, 1 second. Let me see if I can get you on here. It is morning over here, Holly. 1 second. Let me see if I can see if you can request to join me, because I'm not seeing a place where I can actually add you just now. Anything? Okay, I'm going to hop off real quick, and we're going to try this one. Here we go. 1 second. There we go. Yay. So it's in the evening for you, correct? You're on Pacific Standard Time. It's about 11 in the morning on Saturday the 2nd. It's still the 1st for you, so I'm really excited that we get to do this.
Is it working?
Hi. Yes, ma'am. I like that background.
I got some background. Yeah.
Very cool. I like it a lot. So how are you?
Yeah. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm actually really excited about this because it's been a while since we actually spoke. But from every conversation that we've had, I feel really good about the things that I've come away with and learned from you. So I'm actually really excited to have you on here live.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, we came up on our Facebook friend-iversary, like our 1 year one, just a little bit ago in January. And then I remember, I did your soul realignment.
Yes.
Probably last January, February.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I know, like, I was pregnant and we were like, let's do an interview. It'll be great. And then, but divine timing has it all work out.
It's perfect. And I like that you're here now. You have the chakras behind you. I see that right now. But you also did a cord clearing for me, if you remember. We had a couple of things that were still bothering me from on the other side of the world, and you were able to clear that for me.
Did I do that first or after? I can't remember. I do remember that.
We did the Akashic records first, so I'm not sure how I found you, but you something in another reading came up as I had some things in my Akashic records that I needed to possibly clear, and I don't know anything about that. So if you wouldn't mind, let's start there. What are the Akashic records?
The Akashic records. Well, if you have a belief or even a fluid understanding of other lifetimes that we have, past lives, parallel lives, whatever wavelength you're on. Whatever you like to call that, reincarnation.
Yes, reincarnations. Yes.
Yeah. So if you have a knack for understanding that, the Akashic records hold sort of like they're this database of all the things that you've ever encountered in any of your past lives, as well as like thoughts that you had, opinions you had about things, like strong opinions you might carry over.
Yes.
Lifetime after lifetime. As well as future possibility, given the fact that we have free will to play with.
Right.
So it's like you can go in there almost like a Google database for yourself.
Yes.
And find out what you need to know. And you can also work in your Akashic records. I have a lot of people say, I had my Akashic records cleared by Holly. And I'm like, well, I don't clear your record. I'm not that powerful. I'm not like Isis or Thoth or any of these ascended masters. But what we do, we clear old patterns that are coming up, and we work on releasing vows or contracts or anything that's holding you back from just full steam ahead on your life purpose.
Hey, Shamali, thank you for joining us. So yes, I do believe in reincarnation, and I think I spoke to another young lady who deals with spirit and energy healing, and she was saying, some of these things from previous lifetimes get imprinted on you. You carry them forward. It's like It may not have been from you. It may have been from your grandparents, but all those things that you've lived through kind of come back into this lifetime. So yes, the patterns I needed help clearing.
You'll carry tribal patterns. You'll carry hereditary patterns. You'll carry gender patterns, I should say,
Okay.
not genetic, but I mean stuff like that. So we can release a lot of those things. I mean, just patterns from. So every time you reincarnate as a woman, you might battle a different type of pattern around sex and honoring yourself.
Right.
Maybe it's different when you reincarnate as a man. You have different issues, but it's like we got to get rid of these patterns, man, so we can just live happily and fully in who we are.
So we can move forward. Absolutely. Yes. So I think, if I remember correctly, I think I found you first when you were doing tarot readings. So you have your own space. You do Reiki as well, correct? So you were in your office space doing live videos, I believe, and that's where I found you.
I do Reiki. I don't do it as much on anybody but my family now that my family grew by another child.
Yes.
I got it in my office. This is on the other side of me is a diaper changing table.
Hey, we do what we got to do. Because honestly, in front of me is my mom's room, so yeah.
So I do Reiki for my family, and I'm going to get Reiki attuned, which is distance Reiki, and then I actually will incorporate that distance Reiki healing, like a little bit of that after a soul realignment or an Akashic record session with me, because hey, sometimes we're going to talk about scenarios in a person's past life that might be like, well, this one time you were a witch hunter and you did some bad things. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I can send some Reiki to the person who heard that, to the now person, the here person, to just help them more integrate it fully and without any judgment. There's usually not a lot accompanied. It's interesting. The Akashic records hold this really amazing space of non-judgment and unconditional love. So no matter what you hear in there, it's only presented to you if it can help you grow. So it's not going to be super shocking.
Right.
So that's kind of like protected in that way. So anyway, that's what I was saying is it's really there for your growth. It's not going to be deterring you, but I can add Reiki to that and enhance it. I do tarot card readings still. I love tarot card. I just got a new tarot card deck.
I saw, yes.
Going all goddess here. Which just amps my learning again, because I have to learn different. I can no longer memorize the way a card looks and be like, oh, here's what the story is behind this card. Now it's like, oh, you gotta learn again. You gotta read again. No, I totally get it. But I love that because the experience that I had with you as you read, as we started talking, because we talked first and then we decided, okay, I wanted to do, an Akashic record reading and see what all I have that's kind of here with me in the present. And you were very, very helpful in that you were telling me the books that you learned from and other helpful sources that I might be able to go and learn for myself. So I like people who are like that. You don't just do it for us, but you also help us or encourage us to learn for ourselves so we can, we can dig deeper and we can figure out, more of what we're curious about learning. You've just highlighted my second job, which is going into being like a teacher, and that's all. I just want to teach people how to use the records. If I can facilitate a healing session, because you just don't go learn to drive a car before having ever ridden in a car before. Like, I mean, usually you're like, I'm familiar with cars. I like them. I would like to drive one.
It's not like the video game.
It's not like you just get landed here on Earth and they're like, here, we're going to teach you to drive a car. You've never been in one before. So, I can facilitate your first session or two, or sometimes if you have trouble looking in the records for yourself, but I also have a learning group where I teach people how to access these parts of themselves from previous lives. So that's another faucet. I like being a teacher because I think there should be more people in the Akashic records all the time.
I think it would be really helpful. I mean, obviously people will not ask until they're ready to learn more, but once they learn and they, maybe have a reading or dig into, what exactly they could possibly find there, then it provides some kind of an answer, some kind of a comfort to realize, okay, well, this is not all just me. It's not all just the physical 4D or 3D realm. Yeah. There's more to it.
You can find out more depth in relationships in your life, and I'm not even talking your love life, but that's really good. It's nice to have depth in there, but I may be talking about like your sister, relationship with your sister that has always just been a little weird or strained, and then another sister, you're like BFFs. It's like, I don't understand it. You can go into your past lives and find out which one of your sisters was sleeping with one of your husbands in your past life. Because
And then that's kind of carried over.
And you got to work out that karma. Not that it's not going to be such a direct sort of application in this life. Like the cheating thing probably won't have to be an energy, a drama that comes out in your Akashic record readings, and we clear it out, which is good. We just we do cleaning, we get rid of the drama that's holding you back.
So yes, so that brings me to my cord clearing. What ended up happening, I think, during the Akashic records, you mentioned that an ex of mine had an anger spear or something of the sort, and it was something that was still bothering me, and I didn't even know why. He just kept popping up, and it's not even like we spoke in the material world. It was like he would continually pop into my thoughts, and it wasn't like I was attached to him. I was I'd left the entire hemisphere. But apparently it had really angered him that I did, and it was just kind of following me around. So it was very, very simple.
Yeah. It's like there's hooks, there's cords, there's anger spears. What is there? There's compassionate connections. Those are really gentle, but kind of annoying,
Yes.
All these things, these are all present life things, in fact.
Yes.
So these are not even past life. This is where we can use the Akashic records and moreover, just use the energy of working with an energy healer you connect with, because I might not be everybody's cup of tea or whatever, so find an energy healer you connect with and get them to work on clearing your cords, and they might use the Akashic records energy, or they might use Reiki energy, or they might use another energy healing modality. I'm always about like, there's enough people out there that need healing. I don't need to be like, I'm the best one or the only one. I'm really good and I'm sincere. So if we connect, that's the best thing. I always say start with like a tarot card reading.
Yes.
Start with something simple, even like a cord cutting session. It's actually pretty simple. And you can find out a lot about my clearing capabilities and the way you feel afterwards. I actually have a really great way for people to experience a clearing capacity on a monthly basis. I've got a group called Moon Goddess Tribe.
I was just about to bring that up. Yes. That's another facet. But I like the fact that you pay attention to the cycles of the moon, and you do have people that come in. Something super awesome was you pay attention to which moon it is, and then what that particular aspect is controlling in your life, so you can write down those I love that you give those affirmations out to kind of help people learn and release, or whatever the case may be.
You've got new moon for manifesting, and yes, we have there's a whole bunch of stuff stored in the group in the files about what aspects, that's what you're referring to, what aspects of the moon in particular are more beneficial, because the moon is like a magnet. I mean, we can see this with the tides. It's like a magnet. So you might as well use, what aspect, what horoscope sign it's in order for you to amplify your intentions or amplify what you're releasing if it's the full moon. We have, a new moon coming up on Monday. So it's really exciting energy.
Which is awesome, because it's Chinese New Year over here.
So it's all, and this whole time of year, and also today, if you follow the pagan, I'm learning about the pagan holidays, which it's something called like Imlok or something. I think I'm saying it wrong.
I'm not sure. It's great. That's cool.
All the energy of newness, it's freshness. It's still, we're in that zone of New Year's resolutions. So anyway, if you wanted to experience clearing, you can join my moon group. It's just a one-time investment, very affordable, $22 US, super affordable. It's more like a thank you to me and the other gal that lead it, just one time.
And you're very thorough. You bring up a lot of information that we need to pay attention to. It's not just, random posts like you see on Instagram, like, oh my God, it's Mercury retrograde again. It's more than that. It's like really helping us to understand, like, okay, what does that mean? What should you maybe like not focus on during this period of time? There's so many other things you could focus on.
We give you the structure to understand what's going on. We give you the support, because sometimes things they just get crazy, and you need your support system. It's mainly women. There are a couple of male individuals, but we're not limiting it. It's just, I always say, hey, it's the goddess energy. So we might be talking about our monthly menstrual cycle, because oh my gosh, this is what happens, and it makes us crazy, and it's facilitated by the full moon or the new moon, or depending on where you're at. We really help support it. So there might be other members that post the funny memes and stuff like
Oh,
that.
no, no.
We do
But what I'm
include
saying
a
is,
lot of
like, if you go on Instagram and scroll through your Explore feed, you see it when it happens, but it's not explaining, okay, well, why is it a little
it's a
crazy
lot
out
of
there? You do the teaching.
hmm So, oh, I'm just reading some of your people's comments.
Yeah,
It's so fun to be on
absolutely.
this. My first Instagram live, guys.
Thank
I'm
you
so
for being with me on your first Instagram live. But it's pretty simple, right? It's not, I mean, it's very similar to Facebook, but the only reason I do it
yeah.
this way is because then my Instagram family gets to see it, and then I will pull it and put it on Facebook as well. Because if I do it on Facebook, I can't
Yeah.
put it over here on Instagram,
You want
unfortunately.
it, and I love that. And so I know you're helping me. Pika's helping me with learning Instagram.
I love helping you. I love helping everybody.
We'll have to do a cord clearing trade off. In fact, I think that's in order, or some other session like
We'll
that.
work it out. No worries. It's not even like that. So I just love the energy that usually when I come and find people online, it's because they have a business service that I am in need of. So once I actually get to know you a little bit, and then, I purchase your service, we kind of end up becoming friends. Nylia Guerrero is one of those people. Tomasa Muckin, I'm not even saying her name properly, but she's also pretty cool. I've known her for a while, but I haven't actually had the chance to interact with her until recently. So I love the fact that the internet brings us all closer together. I like supporting other business owners because that's what friends should do. I'm not coming to you for discounts or anything else. I know you're working hard just like I am, so the best thing I can do to show support is to share your information, share you with the world, and then purchase, at regular prices, just like everybody else. So I love what you do. It's very important, I feel like, because sometimes there isn't a real reason. There's no something that you can justify in your own current memory. So sometimes you do need to dig back. Sometimes you do need to see, okay, what else is going on? Because I can't understand why my ex keeps popping up in my thoughts. So that was actually really great. It really helped me. And it was a very simple process, just like you mentioned. And it was very calming to me because it just kind of let go. It was like, I'm a little more free now.
You just kind of get rid of the baggage. You leave
Yeah.
the suitcase at the airport terminal and you move on. And you're like, you know what? I didn't really want that suitcase anymore.
Very cool. I remember you used to do live videos where you would just, you'd clear your space and you'd have your cards in front of you and you would allow people to kind of just come on and speak to you. And as you had a chance, you would pull a card for them. And that was also something that I thought was really neat because not everyone does that. You are able to give so much of yourself. And lately you've been doing more and more videos. I know you've got a little one at home and you have 3 total, correct?
3 total. Just
yeah.
3.
But 3 boys, and that's a lot of energy going around you. So the other thing I wanted to mention was you're very cognizant of your own energy. As you speak to people, I know that you usually, once you're finished, you will go and clear your own energy because you don't want to take anything back with you. You want to make sure that you're in a safe space as well. So that's something that people need to understand as they venture forward in this spiritual journey to learn more about what connects us all, where we are all really just one entity, but just different aspects of source energy, basically. And I love that. I love how you do everything.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna that's beautiful. Yeah, if you're opening yourself up to serve other people and you're really being a conduit of that service, you're opening yourself wide up for them to throw compassionate connections your way and hooks and energetic cords. So yeah, it's the best thing you can do. I actually do a little bit of sage. I've got my cell and my sage, and that's just part of my little ritual before I leave the room. It's always smelling a little bit like a smoky sage in here after I do a reading or a session. I do live stream still quite often, and I'm doing them. So I'll have to start doing them on Instagram, actually. So go ahead.
I think people would love it, honestly.
Instagram, because I'm all about, that was one thing as my New Year's, I don't like the word resolution, but this thing I'm going to do this year is stop endlessly scrolling on Facebook and use that time to be functional and show up on Instagram. So thanks for helping me with that.
Of course, anything. Yes, so you are more, at the moment, you are more focused on Facebook. You do have your Moon Goddess Tribe group as well, but you still do your live streams on your own page, correct?
I do them on my own page and on my business page. So I'm still trying to figure out the Facebook algorithms and if that even matters.
I don't even pay attention anymore. I just do it because I will drive myself nuts.
if I go from my Facebook business page called the Akashic Queen, I'll
Yep.
always share it in
Got
progress
it.
to my
Yes.
personal page. So you can catch me either place.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know what is best. I've asked
Wherever
a
you're
lot of other
comfortable.
pages. I'm like, let's just put everything out there.
No, that's what I'm saying. So it's whatever works best. I tend to interact more on, Instagram than I do on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I haven't figured out Facebook groups yet. I will eventually. But until then, it's usually on Instagram. And then I share it to my business page. And I share it again on YouTube. So wherever I can get the word out so that people will find me is, I don't know, that's my method to my madness.
Well, maybe there will be a day we can talk about increasing your Facebook business when I figure out the business.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
Here.
I love trading information. I saw you. I got you. No worries.
Let's trade our genius. I like that and I'm nowhere near a genius. I have like 500 likes on Facebook for my business page.
That's good.
Started. I was like,
I think I do too. Yeah.
All right, girly.
So if you could leave everybody with one thing about the spiritual journey, what was like the biggest lesson for you? I mean, I know you're a go-getter. You're very resourceful. You look, you search, you find whatever resonates with you. What would be one thing that you might tell people as they kind of start researching and looking for answers?
So the biggest thing I would say is read. Read. Get the tips, but don't just rely on the media feeding you information. And if you do, take everything to your heart space and figure out if it feels true for you. And then I would go to reading.
Very good. Okay. So I like that a lot.
Read. I have a giant bookshelf, and I send away books after I'm done with them, and then I call in more books, and I've discovered Audible, so I'm listening.
Oh, yes.
Just read.
Absolutely. And for everyone out there, she's absolutely right when she says, speak to the person you want to connect with first. See if you all are a good match, because yes, they may be great just, doing live on their own without an interaction. But when you actually speak to them, you'll get that energy back from them and see if it really matches or not. So that's really important. There are plenty of people out there researching and teaching as well. I'm just glad that you do a little bit of everything. And yeah. Go find this young lady, Holly, at the Akashic Queen. This one is the_Akashic_Queen. And then Facebook as well, the Akashic Queen. And hopefully we'll do this again soon.
Sounds so good, Pika. Thank you so much. Have a good afternoon where you're at. And I'm going to go.
And you have a good evening. Thank you.
All right. Ciao.
Bye.